Hello, Spider Grinch. Can you hear me? I believe that you can. Well, I am sort of new here too, so we can be new here together, I believe. So, Spider Grinch, since you're here, I have a number of things I was going to talk about, but I suspect you're great. I see that you hear me. I suspect you're here due to the Rippaverse. Are you? And have you bought in? Did you purchase anything for the campaign? Did you buy a book? Did you buy the cards? Did you, or are you here for another purpose? Because I have other things to talk about too. But honestly, I'm surprised there was even someone here right off the bat. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But in terms of the Rippaverse for me, just so you know, if you don't know what that is, I picked up, well, it's an independent comic that is releasing soon, and there's a pre-order live, and I bought cover A and cover B before they became unavailable, and also the art book before it became unavailable. So that's where I'm at. I'm possibly, yeah, great. I see your response. I'm strongly considering picking up the cards as well because they look good. But I figured since I had time, we have until the end of the campaign to pull that trigger or not. I just been sitting on that, and then maybe I can make a purchase at the end, But yes, A, B, C, and the cards, awesome. That's the full Monty almost, as far as I'm concerned. The merch is cool, but I don't know. Didn't go there yet. So that's good. So have you thought about the story at all? Well, here, let's look since we are talking about this. So the campaign is at 3.3 million, almost 3.350. So 3.4 is coming, is what I would say there. And have you looked at the story summaries? Do you have any theories about any of the what's going on there? Any theories about Alpha Core? What Alpha Core actually is or isn't? I've heard that they're probably government accepts or superheroes or a government force of some kind, possibly, or military, hence the green. First time I saw Alpha Core, I thought Green Lanterns popped into my head, even though that's not quite what they look like, but the green did that. I'd say the story definitely has potential, right? And it's about execution. And Eric July knows what a good story is. So, and I don't think he's going to delude himself, any more than anybody would, unless that isn't insane anyway. And he's not. So I'm imagining it's pretty good. And the people that are working with him are very good. So, I feel confident it's going to be worthwhile. And then things can only improve really as time goes on. So I'm looking forward to that. There isn't much to speculate on though. Yeah, that is the government affiliation angle is what I've heard. Then that makes sense. What I was thinking is maybe Isom was a part of them or something. Maybe he was affiliated with them and they had a falling out, or maybe he tried to do it through some official pathway and then he just decided to go his own way. That would be pretty cool to me. It's not as simple as, oh, well, someone I was trying to save got killed, or someone I know personally got killed, and now I've got to deal with that. And instead of dealing with that, I'm going to go run away. And it could be both, but yeah. Yeah. So I would like that, I think. But I wasn't thinking government and affiliation with Alpha Core initially until I saw someone else's video just talking about it. And I think that makes a lot of sense. So they look like cops, right? Like, super powered cops or something. Yeah. Okay. So I had another thought. This brings up another topic. I'm not huge into comics all the time. I go in phases, but often when I do read comics, I'll try to read the mainstream stuff, but it never really sticks. And the stuff that does is more the Japanese manga, and although that doesn't always stick either, but I've tried One Piece a number of times, and I like it. But I always end up trying to watch the anime, and I don't, the anime is good, but I don't know, I don't stick with it. So as a result, I've sort of reread and seen the beginning of One Piece multiple times. And the other day I was thinking, because I know Eric July respects at least One Piece, the comics. And in a video, I think he mentioned that One Piece was pretty, libertarian in his mind. So I was trying to think what he meant by that. And obviously the different sort of factions or tribes or power centers and the piracy in general is sort of fitting with that to an extent. But another thing entered my mind, just the whole goal of Luffy, he's got this impossible goal, but he's going for it anyway. And I was just thinking, that's, if you're going to try to do something creative, or, whether it's make a movie or make your own comics, or I don't know, it could be anything really. Just, you have this lofty goal that is not super likely from a realistic point of view, but you decide I'm going to do this anyway. Even if I fail, I don't care if I die trying. This is what I'm going to do. Those are the people who get there, right? And that's what One Piece is. And I was thinking maybe this is Eric July's like treasure that he's after, is this Rippaverse universe, and he's kind of getting there. So I don't know. Maybe I'm stretching a little, but I just thought that was a pretty interesting possibility in terms of what's influencing him. Yeah. Well, I do like the older Marvel and DC stuff when I read it, but going back now, it's hard. Yeah, right. But going back now, it's hard. Like, I want to read everything, and so then I'll go and try to read everything, and I just can't because there's too much. And then you can try to pick and choose, but I don't know. Like, it gets a little bit. It's hard to keep motivated now because I didn't really do it back in the day. And even when I was a kid, when I tried, and I remember walking into a comic shop and just being completely overwhelmed and had no idea where to start. So it never fully caught on in general. The Japanese stuff's easier to navigate, I would say, to this day. Definitely. The other manga I've been reading recently is an older one. But Fist of the North Star. Here, I will put this back like that. This is pretty good. And it's, basically just a very powerful martial artist going around a post-apocalyptic world, sort of trying to do good, but being very brooding and dark at the same time. And I don't know, that's simple, but it ends up being a lot of fun. So I don't know if you've ever tried the older stuff, but that's one of the older ones that I find enjoyable. And I like the comics or the manga better than the anime usually, because in the anime you get you get the full blown, like, over the top yelling and screaming and whatever. And when you're reading the comics, you can tone that down, or you don't even have to do that. So it works better for me in that context. That was another thing I was focusing on the One Piece, as I was talking about. There's some of that here too. The beginning that I've read multiple times. So, how about, I'm going to totally change topics here. Are you into movies? Or I also collect, like, Blu-rays still, besides books and comics and things. And I go after some of these more boutique Blu-ray labels, which I guess the biggest of them would be considered Criterion Collection, which isn't really a small thing at this point anymore. But one that I like to follow is called Vinegar Syndrome, and they have their own kind of line, but they also have partner labels. And one of the more interesting partner labels they have is called Fun City Editions. And their most recent release is a movie called Heartbreakers, which I haven't seen this yet. I'm probably going to watch it, and I'll probably end up making a video about this. But it's from, what year is this? 1984, 99 minutes long. It sounds good. It's a businessman and a painter, a couple guys who are best friends, commiserating and competing in general, and then they start doing that over women, or maybe it's a particular woman, I haven't seen it, and their fragmented bromance enters crisis mode. So I think this movie is probably really good if you need a movie recommendation. So throwing that out there as a total side tangent. And then the other topic I had on my mind, because since I'm still building this channel, basically I've built a little bit of an audience off of the Blu-ray stuff. Mostly the audience I have now, as small as it is coming in over on the Rippaverse stuff. So I figured I'd bring in some manga, because I think there's some crossover there. But I also flirt around with a little theme park stuff, because I go to Universal Studios. I like to go to Halloween Horror Nights. Hey, Big O, yeah, getting there. Thanks for popping your head in. 200, yeah, 180. I'm creeping up by 1 or 2 a day right now, it seems like. So hopefully we will hit 2 soon and get past that. How are you doing, though? What'd you think about that? I know you put a Batgirl video out, or you sounded like you were disappointed about that not coming out. I'm not sure that movie was going to be good, but I would have liked to see Michael Keaton and Brendan Fraser for sure in the mix. But I suspect it might be a good thing for them if the movie ended up not being... I mean, maybe it's not because it wasn't good. It's just not fitting with their strategy, I guess, at the moment. I'm all over the place with topics right now, but I don't know. I didn't know if anyone was going to come and visit, so... But yeah, I'm not sure if that's telling or if it's just they're switching strategies because they're switching some leadership around or whatever's going on a corporate level. Or both. I mean, I'm sure if it was excellent, they would be putting it out. They're not going to shelve something that's like undeniably good, right? I wouldn't think so anyway. Yeah. Another movie that I'm going to highlight here, speaking of movies, I made a video about this saying you should buy it, but Righting Wrongs, if you're into martial arts movies, this movie's awesome. And this version from Vinegar Syndrome comes with like I think it's like the 3 existing versions of the movie all in one package with a ton of special features. It's not super cheap, but this is worth it. This is entertaining for sure. And it's all, like real real martial arts stunt work, like the actual actors and some doubles, but But, there's nothing fake going on there, and you can tell. And I scratched that case, got scuffed up a little bit. Oh well. C'est la vie. Who else is in chat here? Big O. Well, you're the only one talking right now. I bet you're at work, huh? I am free today, so I figured I'll try to stream early and see if there's any interest. So going back to the Rippaverse, I don't know if you're still in here, Big O, or anyone else listening. Oh, hello, Elaine. How are you? Real life person that I know. I don't think you know about some of what I'm talking about, but feel free to weigh in anyway. And if you want an interesting independent comic, or anyone who you know might, go check out Rippaverse.com. That's not mine, but if it were, I would, happily direct you there too. So, yeah, I'm just experimenting with this live streaming and trying to see if I can get some regular interest going. Maybe, since you're here, Elaine, have you ever seen this movie? From 1988. It's not. There's a newer movie or 1984. Excuse me. There's a newer movie under this name, which it's not. But Heartbreakers from 1984. Does that ring a bell? It looks like it's pretty good. Oh yeah, my hair has. Well, I haven't cut it. Let's put it that way. So it is. It's getting there. I no longer had a reason to cut it, at least not one good enough to stop me, so I stopped cutting it. Oh, nice. What are you working on anything interesting, Spider Grinch? Anything dangerous? No, you haven't seen it? It's supposed to be pretty good, so it might be worth checking out. I don't think it's been available for a while, though, until now. I have a link to these glasses if anyone still wants them in the description below. And it is an affiliate link, so if you did do that, it would throw me some money. But there are other links below, too. Not to the movie I just talked about, though, but you can get that on vinegarsyndrome.com. No, nothing interesting, just parts or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what the possibilities of what you're working on would be anyway. Let's see. Okay, so I was also going to talk about Universal Studios, if anyone's interested. Is anybody possibly going to go to Halloween Horror Nights, or is anyone paying attention to that news? Or they're doing a haunted house based on The Weeknd's album, or at least parts of his album After Hours and some of those songs. Anyone have thoughts about that? I was initially highly skeptical because I'm not an enormous Weeknd fan, although a couple of the songs on that album I've definitely heard a few times, and they're decent. And I haven't watched his videos, which I think is where the horror elements come from. But that would... So I think it could be good. I'm just not particularly excited about, if it was a Metallica haunted house or something, then that would be exciting. But still, I bet it'll still be good. They do a good job. Lockouts and backup screws. Halloween Horror Nights, yeah. Well, there are, that's coming up in like a month at both Universal Orlando and Hollywood, I believe. But here, they've only announced, I think, 4 houses. Which one is the Weeknd house? There's a Universal Monsters house. I think there's a Halloween house. And there's one other it's the Blumhouse house. And that might be it for IP. So the rest of them, possibly, we'll find out, might be just things they make up on their own. And usually those are the best houses, in my opinion. So it might be a pretty good year for houses, honestly. And I'm strongly considering going at the end of October. Maybe squeeze something in before then, I don't know. But I'm about to be there next week before it starts. I'm going to bring my mom there and see if she enjoys any aspects of it. So it'll be a little bit of a slower trip, but boring old Las Vegas. Yeah, I'm in the Florida Keys, Spider Grinch. Although Las Vegas isn't boring, I don't think. Although maybe if you live there, just like if you live anywhere, it can become boring because you don't tend to normally do the things that people come there to do after living there for a while, right? I bet that is the same in Las Vegas. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I think normally they announce more of them now, but they had a deal with Netflix that fell apart. I think there was going to be a Stranger Things house, and there was going to be an Evil Dead house, and something happened, and those deals apparently fell through. So, yeah, bingo, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I know. I live in the Keys. People ask me if I like to fish, and I'm supposed to like to fish, and I don't really do it, so... And Vegas is a dangerous place in terms of, yeah, get too into the gambling lifestyle. I would imagine living right there might be a little bit of a, yeah, potential for disaster going on. Well, I mean, you are right, though. They do push the things that they think are going to draw the most people, which are going to be the IP. I don't know I guess the weekend is kind of big, but I wasn't really aware. I had heard some of the songs, but I didn't know who it was. Now I do. So I think maybe Weeknd's getting the better end of the deal here. He's probably getting a lot of extra awareness off of this. So works out for him. Plus he gets to flex the horror muscles that he does, I guess, flex in his videos sometimes. But I haven't. Like I said, I haven't actually watched them. I've seen some of the makeup, though. It looks like he's into practical effects and stuff, so that's pretty cool. And practical makeup and prosthetics and stuff. So that fits. All right. I also have a link to these things I have a variety of eyewear for entertainment purposes. These are pretty good, though. Yeah? No? Maybe? And they can be a headband or a hairband? No thanks. Well. Let's talk about more movies. Since I have this right here. Another partner label from Vinegar Syndrome is Circle Collective. And they recently released a documentary many people know of called Heavy Metal Parking Lot. And I think a lot of people have seen this online, but this is, I believe, one of the probably the first time on Blu-ray for sure. But it has a bunch of other films on here. It has Heavy Metal Parking Lot. It has Heavy Metal Basement. It has Heavy Metal Picnic. It has Neil Diamond Parking Lot. And Harry Potter parking lot. So there's a whole genre of parking lot documentaries, and a bunch of them are on here. So I think this is a pretty fun release too. If you go looking, I don't know if Amazon has this. I should check. But you definitely get it on vinegarsyndrome.com. I just don't get a cut of that one. But that's okay. It's worth supporting anyway, I think. Yeah. All right. Well, any other thoughts? Anyone here Rippaverse related? Any thoughts about the story or... There's just not that much more to go on. But it'll be out. It's going to be here. I think we're going to start having it in hand within the month, possibly, or certainly a month from now. I'm sure they'll have been shipping. So since they already have a lot of them. And once he knows the second wave of books are coming and when they show up, he can start shipping stuff out. So I would imagine that will be possibly at the end of the month when that starts happening. So pretty excited. Did anyone back any of the other independent comics lately? I know there was like Truth, Justice, and the American Way. Yes. Have a good one, Elaine. Thank you for visiting. Like the video if you didn't on your way out, the thumbs up button. That'll help. Or share it somewhere too. Thank you. So the other crowdfunded, or just for lack of a better term, the other independent comic campaigns, I'm aware of Truth, Justice, and the American Way. There's also like Hunter Ninja Bear. I went in on both of those. And then there is Indominus Rex or something. I don't know if I have the name right, but I think I went in on that too. I've heard of some others, but I haven't tried them. But I went ahead and dove into those because they look like they might be interesting, and I would like to have more stuff to cover on the channel. Also, if anyone listening now or listening in the future on the replay has ideas or thoughts, what would you like to see more videos about? I'm happy to custom make some videos for people who are actually watching this, because why not? I have nothing to lose on this channel at the moment. We're just slowly growing, so be happy to fill in gaps if you see a gap, or just add to a conversation that you've noticed out there that maybe I haven't. I'd love to add to it for sure. Okay. Well, it's been about a half hour. I think, I'm going to cut it off here for now. I appreciate everybody that came and everybody that's listening after the fact. I'm going to run the exit video, and then I'll see you next time. If there's a time, anyone watching now or in the future, what's the best time for these live streams for people to be able to show up? Let me know in the chat and the comments later, and we will adjust accordingly over time. Oh, there's Spider Grinch real quick. Let's see. He's excited for it. Yeah, I hope I like it too. Dokuman. Yeah, I've heard that. I'm going to have to go look that up after this and see. It is an interesting name. I did see that somewhere. I'm going to go check that out. Thank you for bringing that up. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you. This time's good for you. Okay. I can do this. So I don't know if I can do this the same time every week, but there are days during the week where I can do it at this time. So and definitely we got a few people, so that's more than some other times I've tried. So I'll do it again at this time for you, Spider Grinch, for sure. All right. Have a good one. Thank you, Spider Grinch, Elaine, Big O, and everybody watching after the fact, and anyone that might have been watching that didn't speak up. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. If you're still there, Spider Grinch, you should feel special later.